Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Disney Duo. I'm Jimmy, and this is
Katie. Hi, guys.
And we're talking today about something hyper-specific because that's what people love to watch videos about. Today we'll be talking about the top 3 queue lines that you could find at Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom. We were thinking about this beforehand, and we were talking about it, and I was like, all right, it's kind of hard, so maybe we should just focus on Magic Kingdom in case, like, that's the only one I was thinking of. So I was like, oh, because there are a lot, and like our best of the previous videos we've done in the past, I think it's easier to do it. Maybe eventually we could do like a top, like the top rides of all of Walt Disney World, the top queue lines of all of Walt Disney World. But for now, let's get specific. And don't forget to leave yours, because we want to talk about yours too. Mm-hmm. But this is going from bronze to silver to gold, right?
Correct.
Okay, so what's your bronze? What's your third place?
Well, 2 of them kind of like are on the same level, so then I had to kind of just decide which one is a little lesser of the 2.
Excellent.
So I'm gonna. This is so random. I'm gonna say Splash Mountain.
Yeah, dude.
Just because, like, growing up as kids,
dude,
because
it's so good.
To be honest, there's a little backstory about this. I probably talked about it before, and maybe one of our Disney duos. I was sheer terrified of that ride.
Still am.
As a child.
I mean,
a little bit, yeah, but I really enjoyed it as an adult, so I think the queue line, I actually just went on that ride for the queue line, and then I went above. There was like a set of stairs from my recollection. I think they're still there. People usually don't use them if they're not going to go on the ride. They'll go through one of the boats and then go on the logs, I should say, and then wait on the other side. But I would always go all the way through the queue line, go up and over, and then I would wait. For the better part of 15, 20 minutes, that felt like ages. But I think just like when you're going through kind of that mill in the beginning, and then you're walking up all the stairs, then you're hearing the music, and then you kind of go down like it almost feels like you're inside a tree or something, and you're like going down to get into the log. So like that is why I really like that queue line.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's very good.
And sometimes, if you hit it right, you might see the train pass by, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dang, that is cool. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like right when you're going at the top of the stairs before you start going into like the tree area.
I always look down at those people from the train. I'm like, it's hot in the middle of the day. I only go on it at night usually.
It's so hot. Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah.
That's why it's fun to do these, because I don't know exactly what she's going to pick, and then I think about like what mine are, and really, honestly, number 3 for me is Splash Mountain.
Oh, really? No kidding.
Splash Mountain is so good. Okay, it's got good quotes in it. You can see Brer Frog sitting in his little... He's got... there's like a little projection of Brer Frog.
Yep.
So good.
That's cute.
It's cold in there. It's kind of creepy, especially at night. I remember being scared. I remember being so scared the first time I went on it. There was a kid who was maybe like half my age who was like ready to go on it again. And he was like running in front of me. And like this parent... I was like, okay, if he can do it and not die, then I can do it and not die. But... That's the ride, not the actual queue line.
Yeah.
The queue line has this like you're going into like the red clay of the actual mountainside too, and there's like, I feel like roots and things, and you can kind of peer into places, and man, it's so cool. And they have like a little tease to the loading area, which is great too.
Yeah, that is neat.
Yeah, and the whole thing, and when you first walk into it, it's really unassuming. It's like this kind of like, oh, I'm walking into like a shed or like a barn.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's like, it's like a farm ride or something?
Yeah, like what is this?
What the heck's going on? And then you like get transported into that world.
Yeah,
it's really good. I agree.
Absolutely.
All right, what's your number 2?
Pirates of the Caribbean. Is that yours? Sorry, that was probably really loud. Of course I'm gonna pick that. It's so great.
Pirates got a great queue line.
I flippin' love it.
I love it too.
So fun.
Yeah.
And you just like, especially when we were kids and it was late at night, we would always take the left side if it was open, because is that accurate?
The left or the right? I think the right was by the prisoners with the skeletons.
Now I'm like totally forgetting. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes, but then you're able to kind of choose either side, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, but now I think it's like Fast Pass.
Is it now?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't feel like we did that Fast Pass when we went down that way. We took the back way.
When we were kids. Are you talking about when we were kids or recently?
Oh, you're talking about the main line? Like the right? That's Fast Pass?
Yeah. So like when we went recently, that's the left side. And that's like puts you back by that weird, like, it's kind of like a hacienda situation.
Yes.
Yes. But the other way is the one with like the prisoners who are playing chess.
Yes.
That's the right. And that's where we used to go down as kids.
I'm getting all like confused.
It's fine.
Yeah, but either way, it's too cool to be walking through that area, especially later in the evening, and then it's, like you said, kind of cold and kind of creepy at the same time. You're like, are there pirates around here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How about you?
I'll say that's my number 2 as well, Pirates of the Caribbean. I think the funny thing about Pirates, and I have vivid memories of like running down those hallways and having nobody be in line. It was the same way I felt for like Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
I always feel like those two rides were not popular
They
in the
were
same
not.
way
No.
as they are today. Like they're like crazy popular. But Pirates of the Caribbean, I think it makes up for the fact that it's not the same ride as Disneyland's a little bit, with its queue line being far superior. You're walking through this Spanish fort, and it's like really weird and cool, and then where you actually get in the boat is like this big cave, and like off to the right you can see like these like boats out at sea on this wall projection thing. It's such a cool setup, and I don't think there's anything quite like it. I like being down in the dark caves. I'm like, yes, it's not like a real adventure. Like,
well,
cool.
And you have to think about how much background and like with the Imagineers and stuff, they would have to sit down and kind of figure out, okay, so we want to be able to really transport people, but we also need to make sure that people can't like pick up items, because like you're seeing, you know, like there's big cannonballs areas and there's like guns somewhere else, and I mean, of course they're not real, but they had to really focus on that, and then probably also make sure that things are relatively easy to clean in general.
Yeah.
Like, these are the things I think about at queue line, especially in the age of COVID-19. But can you think about it? Like, people are sitting around, and it's kind of amazing, actually. And how they aged stuff, like, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Oh, I love that queue line. It's great. It's super cool. It's really, really good. But only one could top it.
Yeah.
What's your number one?
Do you have an idea?
I am going to, no matter what you say, I'm not going to react to it, because there's a really good chance that it's the same one I picked. But I'm just going to...
Haunted Mansion is mine. That's what you picked? Did you pick that?
No, I did not pick Haunted Mansion.
Oh, really?
Why do you like Haunted Mansion? The extended queue line now.
Yeah. Well, I think just because you automatically have a story when you're going into it. And of course it's creepy, so you're getting a visceral reaction whether or not you want to. And I think most of the time, especially not when we're dealing with what we are right now with cast members having to wear masks and stuff, they're all really into their character.
Are you counting the stretching room as part of the queue line?
Yeah.
So if that's true, then when we do like the one for Rise to Resistance,
I'm saying like when you're walking in, like this is it.
I meant like, but I'm saying that like, so Rise to the Resistance, basically that transport is like a new age stretching room.
Yeah.
I never thought about it that way. So it's like a ride and a ride. So you're counting the queue line.
I'm counting it all. Like, you're walking in.
Fair enough.
This is it. Chain.
Do you like the extended queue? That part is kind of a little bit jokey.
I don't like that.
Oh, you don't?
That's the only part I'm not super fond of. I wish that they would have aged it more, and I think that if they wouldn't have... I know the point behind it was to have some interaction with guests, but it just... I don't think that it aged well, because, like, maybe originally it did really well, and people were interacting with it consistently, but now, like, things don't seem to be kept up very well, or they're not working. Like, some of the books don't pop out like they used to.
Sure, people probably slamming those things.
Yeah, exactly. Or, like, some of the music won't
I never
work
wanted to
properly.
touch them before the pandemic, but now
I know, we're never going to touch them, so maybe Disney is going to redo some of that. I don't know, but I think that if it was a little bit more aged, it would be really cool. Or if it was more of a... more cemetery-like. It's too jokey for me. But the inside is also what I'm talking about, is the stretching room and then going through the mansion before you get on the dune buggies.
The only problem I have with it is that super duper choke point right before you get into that little switchback. It's like they funnel everybody into this like one little spot, like where it's only one person wide, and you have to do a switchback and like another switchback onto a moving walkway. Which, okay, sorry, quick tangent. Everybody loves Haunted Mansion so much. I understand why you love it. Everybody's like, I love this theming is so good. Well, like, nobody questions the fact that there is a moving walkway and also the doom buggies that are just like going through the house. I get logistically why they have to do it. It's just so funny to me that like, they're like, I love the theme. I'm like, there's thousands of people just like floating through this house every day.
You know what it reminds me of? It honestly reminds me of Casper when she gets on that chair, like the velvet chair, except Disney wouldn't have been able to do like crushed velvet and make you sit in an armback chair. See, that I will get behind. Like the dune buggies, I get that logistically they're able to be cleaned probably and they're easier to upkeep. But could you imagine if the ride vehicle was like armchairs? Like, I'm behind that, Disney. Come on.
Crushed velvet. That'd be so nice to clean.
No, not maybe crushed velvet. But you know what I'm saying? Like something a little bit more homey, like you're in an old... Yeah.
I would love that.
Like, just let's get morbid. Let's just let's put you in like, you know, something like
A coffin.
A coffin. You know, like
Everybody pile in with your family. It's coffin time.
Let's just get in, you know, yeah, like a log vehicle thing, and we're going past the queue line, folks. But anyway.
I guess we're not here to debate if it's realistic or not, because all these rides aren't necessarily. But I just think that's funny. Anyway, I just want to make that moving walkway was the part I wanted to talk about, because like the whole thing is fine, and they're like,
yeah,
on the moving walkway.
Other than that, I get it. Yeah,
I like they have the little bats on the little moving walkway though.
I know.
That's very cute.
It's cute.
And they have the bats on the railings too.
They do.
I like that. Nice little touches.
They're not fun if you like catch them.
Yeah, don't catch them. They'll smash you.
Yeah,
Smash
right
you.
in the sides.
And then they got one at the end that's got his wing down.
Really?
Yeah, there's like one because they're always like holding up because they hold the little wings.
Yeah.
They're on the chains, and one on the end has one up and one down.
I suppose.
Yeah, I think that's how it goes. It's very cool.
What's your number one?
Oh my goodness, what's the best queue line in all of Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom? Well, I think when you think about it for a second,
I knew you were gonna say this. Sorry.
The Jungle Cruise. No, I'm just kidding. I like Jungle Cruise. Honorable mention to Jungle Cruise. I like your music. I like the little theming, but there's not much more to it. It's one that transports you. One that will mess you up before you get on the ride.
This is valid.
One that is very long, very reminiscent of the Disneyland queue lines that have to go under the train tracks. Of course, I'm talking about Magic Kingdom's Space Mountain. Yes. It is so good. Okay, so you enter. You're like, oh, like look at this beautiful building, which we should do show buildings. That'd be a good, like, top 3.
Valid.
Space Mountain's probably mine. Anyway, it's timeless. It's beautiful. I love her so much. And you can see her for the contemporary. Like that other video we just talked about. I should have said that in the contemporary video. Anyway, so... so you can see it, and you're like, I want to go in there. So you walk in, and you get this music, and it's like...
It's really... I do like the music.
And you're like, oh, and you're looking down, you're like, I gotta walk down some stairs. But then you notice there's a ton of these little blue balls, and you're like, I want to jump in those balls.
Yeah,
but don't do it. So you see them, and you're like, okay, this is weird. And then you get in this tunnel, and they start playing this music that, like, is both exciting, and it lulls you into, like, some, like, restfulness. But what you don't realize is you're like, going down a slope, and then you look over to the right, there are these windows, and these windows that have stars in them. And these stars, and they warp as you walk, and it's like, oh, so don't look directly at the windows when you're walking. Then you ascend a bit, and there's like all this stuff off to your left, and it's like all this information about like these, like the galaxy and stuff. And then you're in like darkness. And sometimes they have games there, sometimes I don't think they have them right now.
Oh, it is really hard to see.
Super dark.
I remember that now.
And I love it. But then you're walking, and then you have to bank to Alpha or Omega. And they're pretty much the same track. There's little differences in both. But then what they used to have is they used to have an open ceiling there. But now they've closed that off, and they kind of have like a ceiling that's kind of low. It's got these like neon lights, so it's to prevent more light from coming out into the ride. It's just amazing. It's Space Mountain.
Yeah.
I love it all. But yeah, that's just, I want to talk about Space Mountain. So
I knew you would.
It's so good! Okay, I just love that. Anyway, again, what your top 3 were?
Well, we said Splash Mountain for me, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Haunted Mansion.
Yes, and for me, Splash Mountain, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Space Mountain.
Yeah.
Very good. I love it. And seriously, what are yours down below? We want to know. And if you're not familiar with those, hopefully you've seen them in some of our videos. I'll try to link them. You should check those out. But yeah, and we're on a bunch of different things. We're on everything. Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And Patreon and all that. So if you're supporting us at $5 up, you see your name somewhere. It's here. Anyway, thank you for being here. Thank you for coming on again.
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks for having
it.
me.
Yes, hopefully we'll do more of these in the future. Let us know what you want to see, because we love you. Until next time, just remember to adapt
and overcome.
Well done. Nailed it.
Bye.